fantastic. First event with Dymphna, being a new member with the Ultimate program, and just found it to be one of the most practical events that you could come along to. Been to many business type events and seminars, but quite often it's all theory. There's a lot of practice, and it's been quite entertaining as well.
Fantastic. Yes. I came along to the one day 3 years ago, and I couldn't get my wife to come. She built the brick wall up and she wasn't interested, so I came along on my own, and we went to the one-day seminar a few weeks back, and managed to drag her along, and she's finally, I've got her here at the boot camp, and it's been fantastic. We've learned so much through the DVDs and through the show here over the weekend.
It's been absolutely amazing, just the information that's coming through. It's almost too much to take in. It's incredible the amount that's covered in 3 days. In particular, what's of interest is the level of support that's offered after the event, because I think at any of these sort of things you sort of think, well, how much will I remember? So that's been really awesome, knowing that it doesn't end here, it just continues on from there.
Well, I'd say it's been a brain stretch, but it's also been really exciting because I can see a point ahead now. I went to Dymphna's one-day event some time ago, and I've sort of got my finances already, and I feel like I'm ready to go forward.
It's been a very good experience. It's given me an indication of where I need to go within my own portfolio. So it's been a very good experience.
Very nice, very educating. A lot of information, invaluable information. Very, very good.
Informative, very much. And left me with a lot of excitement and a lot of hope for going forward.
Absolutely. I think just the step-by-step approach. I think the support network and being able to speak to lawyers and financiers and everybody else at the same event has been really, really good.
We have one property which is currently negatively geared, so one guess what's going to happen with that when we get home. So that'll be going on the market, and then we'll be using our equity and our PPR, and then we can move on and start doing it the right way.
I now know what strategies to do to get market ready, and in terms of the research, how to start breaking down the properties and where to go in Australia. And as I said before, that support team that you build around you so that you know that you can be successful in what you're doing.
Yes, because I'll understand the processes the banks and the other people put in place, and also where to go to get help that's needed.
Absolutely. It gives us a good indication of how to set up structures so we're actually not making the mistakes that a lot of people fall into.
Easier, puts things in a realisation before looking at it. It may have been the too hard basket, all the unknowns, but it's really thoroughly covered. Yeah.
I think that the knowledge actually boosts the confidence, because there's always a bit of nervousness before, when you want to get started in these sorts of things, there's always a level of nervousness, and I think just seeing what some other people have done, hearing what other people have done, and working through that step-by-step approach, it builds the confidence. I think there's a little bit more work to be done on the strategies. I think it's one thing to know the strategies, but I think talking to the strategists, so speaking to the investor loans network people, and getting a little bit more information on our personal circumstances is what's needed. But the strategies are there, and they'll certainly help. I think it's the ideal environment to get started, because there's so much information. One of the things is there's probably an overload of information, but it's the ideal way to get started, because you can take some time, absorb the material, come along to the events, the support networks there, forums and all sorts of things. So I think it's a great way to get started. Highly recommend it.
Definitely. I think it's also a case of getting that the realisation that it can happen, and just seeing the show a little while ago, just showing how easily it can happen. Getting the structures in place to protect yourself also is obviously an important factor in all of that. But yeah, really looking forward to getting out there and having a crack at it. Well, as I said before, I don't see how you can do it without knowing those strategies. To implement those strategies is knowing the order, and taking into account cash flow and the manufactured growth. So without knowing those things, I don't think you can move forward. Well, I was feeling a bit glum on day one. This is too much, but I think day three, it's all sort of falling into place. All the coins are dropping in the hole, and I actually feel much more confident in going out there and just knowing all the stuff that we've picked up over the weekend. It's been I don't know how you can do it without coming to a course, basically. Definitely this is where you would need to start. I've been to numerous seminars, not only Dymphna's but others dealing with call options and things like this, but I feel I can get my head around this more so than other things I've been and seen. So I would recommend anybody, if you want to come and do the course, definitely do it. It's well worth it.